Hey guys, Paul Wilson here from Fat Burner Bootcamp, and today I want to talk to you about something I call the power of one. And basically I use the power of one to deal with managing stress. For example, if somebody's stressed and constantly in a, let's say a work mode, as many of us are, and they're always mentally focused on a task in hand followed by another task in hand, and always constantly overwhelmed by numerous stresses in the environment, mental, physical, things that are brought on by work, then chances are you may have a little podge on the lower portion of your belly. This is known as cortisol related body fat. And what happens here, basically your adrenal glands, which sit just on top of the kidneys and on your back, they're constantly sending out adrenaline, and your body stays in this, what's known as the fight or flight mechanism. It stays in this mode where constantly it's always being alert and in a state of action to respond to the stresses that we're putting onto the body. So for example, in modern day society and my clients that I get through the door, a typical client would probably work from 9 till 5, but they go home and they've got to do some cleaning. The kids have made the house a little bit of a mess. There's loads of washing everywhere. Got to cook for the kids. Got to cook their own food, but they're still thinking about work, and they're thinking what they're going to do tomorrow. And then come 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, they're still wired and they're still thinking, and they've had about 4 or 5 cups of coffee throughout the day, so they're still buzzing. The last cup of coffee was like at 7 o'clock because they needed some energy to get through cooking the food for the kids and cleaning up and everything. And they're so wired, they're just exhausted, they're tired, and that's a big problem for many guys watching this video right now, many of my clients, and in particular you're probably suffering from adrenal fatigue, where the following day you'll wake up and you need a cup of coffee just to get you going. This, by the way, is his green tea. Slight little bit of caffeine, but full of antioxidants, guys, in a pretty awesome Fat Burner Bootcamp mug, limited edition. So guys, if you want to get rid of that little podge that nobody ever seems to get rid of, that stubborn body fat, here's what I want you to start focusing on. I call it the power of one. It's also going to increase the productivity of everything that you do. It's going to make the quality of everything that you do like 10 times more quality, more better, more valued. And you ain't going to get the brain jargon, the brain boggled brain, fried brain, and you're going to be feeling more mentally focused, energized, and getting more done. So here's how you do it. The power of one, guys. Imagine your computer desktop right now. Imagine a web browser, and you've got lots and lots and lots and lots of windows open. Now, let's say you're just reading an article, and you're waiting for a video to load on that article, and it's taking forever and ever and ever and ever. Well, because of all those windows that you left open on your web browser, everything else on what you're trying to focus on is now going really, really, really slow to get to the point where you want to get to. Because everything else that is running behind what you're trying to focus on, the thing that you're trying to focus on, kind of like takes a back burner. Yeah, imagine like just the total levels going down, just so a big energy bar that you could be using on that one particular thing has to be spread out amongst a lot of things, so you only get a little bit of energy supplied on many things as opposed to one. So it's called the power of one, guys. Do it right now. If you've got loads of loads of internet pages open in your web browser, close them all down to watch this video right now. You notice I'm probably speaking a little bit quicker right now as soon as you start closing them down, right? Am I right? So, guys, give it a go with everything that you do in life. If you're reading a book, flick off the TV, because background noise, guys, is one thing that's going to stimulate that cortisol level that gives us that podge on the belly. So switch off the TV. Switch off the overhead lights. Put a light, certainly if it's say as close to dusk as possible, you want to get to bed. If you want to get cortisol down and that podge belly down, you want to get to bed as close to dusk as possible. Now you do not want overhead powering lights keeping you awake, making you crave carbohydrates, which end up giving us fat on our hips this time. So we want to be getting into sleep at a good time, close to dusk as possible. If you're staying up reading, doing stuff, get yourself a low-level lamp with a red bulb in, something to mimic a sunset. Okay, so our brain isn't getting fired up by all these artificial lights that make us think it's the day, and then we crave the carbohydrates and so on. The reason why your body craves those carbohydrates late at night, if you stay up late at night, by the way, guys, is not to provide you with energy. It's actually to put you asleep and put you in a carb coma, so you do get to sleep. But that screws up all your hormonal profile anyway, guys. So what we want to be focusing on, you'll notice by getting your sleep, by focusing on the power of one, everything else will start taking care of itself. And if it doesn't, then we can start focusing on those areas as well, in your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise, and everything else. So, guys, I want you to focus on one thing at a time, reading a book at a time, nothing else going on, doing the cooking at a time. Tell the kids to be quiet while you're doing that, if that's possible, or get somebody else to look after them while you're doing the cooking. If you can, guys, put your feet up after a long day at work and get your partner or family member to do the cleaning up. Just to give yourself a break. One of the biggest things is that we're too stressed out. Yes, I know we've got to do loads of these jobs and things like that. And yes, I know life can be stressful at times, but it's how you deal with it. All right? Because half the times, guys, and I bet right now, I'll put my hand up to this. When I'm doing stuff, I'm on my phone as well, and man, that's giving me like, certainly it's late at night, making my cortisol rise, looking at the bright light on my phone. Okay, so put that away from 8 o'clock onwards. If you've got anything running on your mind, the work, the day after, write it down on a pen and paper and then forget about it, because you can't do anything at that time of the night, and just put it away. Deal with it tomorrow. Focus on the power of one. Something that help you guys get a better night's quality sleep is letting go of the day, meditating 30 minutes before your bed, before you go to sleep, just to improve the quality of sleep, or reading some fiction, just to let your mind wander and relax and think about anything other than before and after. By the way, guys, there isn't an after, there isn't a before, okay? They don't exist. That's not reality. There's only a now. But that's another video I'm going to talk about one other time, guys. There's only now. Think about it. So, the power of one, begin it, start it, implement it into your life right now. Not tomorrow, not after. They don't exist. Do it right now, guys. And start using the power of one, guys. That's everything. That's a wrap. So, Paul Wilson from Fat Burner Bootcamp. I hope you use this tip, and I hope you value it, guys. And I will speak to you very soon.